Do you have an outdoor space that you would love to enjoy but are just faced with too much sunlight or maybe lack of privacy? Well, outdoor shades are probably the answer. I've been using smart outdoor shades on my back porch for a while now and absolutely love it. My brother just moved into a new house and he really had some privacy issues in his backyard. So we're gonna install some massive smart shades over at his house. We're gonna talk all about the options and stuff like that and see if this would be a good addition to your house. So join me today as I cover my experience using smart outdoor shades at my house as well as install them at my brother's house. We're gonna talk about the installation, pricing, everything you need to know. We're gonna get him set up with his smart home as well. Should be a lot of fun. Let's go. Yo, what's up guys? My name is Shane and this channel is all about helping you build an easy Apple home, smart home with new videos and live streams published every week. Today's video is sponsored by SmartWings. Now I've been using SmartWings outdoor shades at my house for quite a while. I also installed some indoor shades at a friend's house a while back. I did a whole video about that, but I never did a full video about the outdoor shades and I've really been enjoying them. So I actually reached out to SmartWings and said, hey, you guys want to collaborate? It's one of the few times I've actually done that. They were really excited to do this and it just came at a perfect time. My brother moved in to a new house not very long ago. He really needed or wanted some sort of solution for his backyard. So we're gonna do a whole installation over there at his house and show you all that. But first, let me tell you a little bit about my setup and what I've got going on and why I've been enjoying these so much. So I did a full backyard renovation almost a year ago, not quite a year ago. And one of the big things we did was add SmartWings outdoor shades all around my screened-in porch. Now there's two reasons why I did that. One was for the sunlight. So we get just brutal sunlight in the backyard out there. And even with the screened-in porch, the afternoon sun just beams in through there and it's really brutal. So these smart shades really help block the sun when it's coming through during the afternoons. And then also is just privacy. We got neighbors kind of all around like so many people do. And having these shades come down just really improve privacy. You just really can't see inside the screen porch at all. So it's great. Even at night you can use them if you want, just for privacy reasons, and obviously during the day it helps a lot too. Now again, these are smart shades, which means I can control them with my smart home, which I absolutely love. So I can use my voice assistants to control it. I can use automations to control my shades. It's been fantastic. These shades support Matter over Thread. Matter just means that they will work with any smart home ecosystem, whether you're using Apple Home, Google Home, Home Assistant. Matter will work with pretty much anything. All you need to have is essentially a Thread border router in your smart home. So a Thread border router could be your HomePod or your Apple TV if you're in the Apple Home ecosystem. It can be a Google Nest Hub or Nest Hub Max if you're in the Google ecosystem. So, a lot of the times you may already have one of these hubs in your house, so you can just connect directly to your smart home and it works great. So let's check out the ordering process, the website, some of the options, and then we'll get to the installation and I'll show you how to install these outdoor shades because they are a little bit different than the indoor shades, but we'll get to that in just a second. So you can see over on the SmartWings website, you can go to their outdoor shades option here. I would highly suggest getting a fabric sample. You can get one of these sent out to you for less than $10 just to look through the fabrics because it will really help you. I did this when we installed them on my back porch. My wife and I sat down and kind of looked through them and determined what would be best for our back porch. So definitely do that, but you can see the smart outdoor shades are here. They now have 1%, 3%, and 5% openness options is what they're calling it. So when I first did mine, I think there was only 5% was the only option. So that basically is the amount of sun that is let through. So the lower the percentage, the darker they're gonna be. We actually installed 1% at my brother's house because he wanted just maximum privacy. So we'll show you that here in a second, but you can choose the openness here. There is more color options if you go with the 5% fabric. You can see they've got black, gold, coffee, gray, dark brown, black. We went with the light gray over at my brother's house. The mount type, you can go inside mount or outside mount. They've got some really good instructions here on the website for measuring. Just really make sure you measure accurately. It will help in the end. I want to talk real quick about the sizing. So this is the width. The largest that they sell on the website is 109 inches, okay? The larger the size, the obviously the more expensive they're going to get. Now, my brother's house, he had a really large area. He had, let's see, it was 128.5, so over 128 inches on the longest shade, which was the one on the front. And they don't offer that through their website that large. Now, when I contacted SmartWings, they said they would custom make these for us. But as far as their website goes, the largest that they offer is 109 inches. If you need something bigger, I would say reach out to them, contact them, and see if maybe they can custom make something for you larger than 109 inches. But I can't guarantee that, but they did do that for us. So let's go ahead and just choose whatever size you got here. So I think the ones from my porch were around 40 to 50. There's a range. I had some different sizes in there. So we'll go with 55 inches here, probably around 64 inches, I think, on mine, just to kind of get through this and show you the options here. Now, here's the motor type. Personally, again, like I said earlier, matter over thread right here, this is the option I would go for. Matter over thread, as you can see, this works with all of the smart home ecosystems, Apple Home, SmartThings, Alexa, Google Home, because of that matter support. So I would go with this. You got to add a little bit more for each of these options. $94 for the matter over thread, but that's the one that we went with. The valance here, you can go with standard or oversized. I went with standard on my back porch. My brother's house, we had to do oversized because it was such a large shade. So you can choose that. Solar panel, really, really nice that they have this option. I have solar panels on all of my outdoor shades, and we'll also put these up at my brother's house. That way you never have to worry about charging them. But if you don't get the solar panel, it'll come with a regular charger, and you can plug that into an outlet. And I think the battery should last probably around 6 months or something like that. So you shouldn't have to charge them a lot either way. But solar panel option is fantastic if you want to, never have to worry about charging it. You can add on a remote. You only need one of these, obviously. They've got two options. They've got a 5-channel remote and a 15-channel remote. Actually, they do have this other cool little dial. I've not used one of these. I have the 15-channel one at my house, and we got the 5-channel one for my brother since he has less shades. You can choose which side the motor goes on. Extension cable, this would be good if you have a solar panel and you need to extend that solar panel somewhere, which we did actually do at my brother's house. And that is it there. So those are kind of the options as you're ordering them through their website. Now, let's go ahead and get these things installed at my brother's house. They came in this very, very large crate. So we unloaded this, and then we kind of looked in the boxes just to make sure everything was there that we needed to get ready for the installation. There are some things to consider for your installation. First of all, with the outdoor shades, one of the big things that makes these different than the indoor shades is the little side wire anchors. I'm not really sure what you call those. This keeps the shades from blowing in the wind. For us here, that meant we had to drill into the concrete for a couple of these anchors, and then we put a couple of them into the pillars for his back porch. So that's definitely something to consider. We did spend a lot of time in kind of the planning phase. We wanted the cleanest installation possible, and we wanted it to look really good and finished when we were all done. So we did cut into those aluminum pillars. They're basically little trim plates around those pillars. So we cut those out, and so that we could fit the shades flush in there. We mounted ours to the top, so you could also mount them to the side or to the top, and they're very easy to install. You just drill in your brackets, so do measure and make sure you have them lined up properly. But once you put in your brackets, you can literally just snap the shades right in there, and you're good to go with the installation for that part. You do still have to worry about those side anchors like I mentioned. But once we got our measurements down and the first one installed, we just kind of went around and installed the rest of them, the brackets and everything. And it's really a breeze. Again, I did the same thing on my back porch, and they really couldn't be easier to install, so I really like that. Now for the anchors at the bottom, again, we did have to drill into the concrete, so you're gonna want those wires to run straight down from where they attach up there near the shade. So you just run those straight down and you need to attach to something. Again, we drilled a couple into the concrete and we put the others on the pillar. There's just little screws in the top and in the bottom. You can kind of tighten them that way. And in my experience, I have noticed, with the wind blowing and the shades moving up and down, these will loosen up a little bit here and there over time, but you can real easily just go in and tighten those wires if they ever get loose at all. But these help significantly in keeping your shades from blowing in the wind, especially at a location like my brother's house where they're so large and such an open space, those would be blowing in the wind quite a bit if it wasn't for those. There's a little port that you will either plug in your solar panel or the charging cable to. Again, here we're using the solar panel, so we plug those in, and then we were actually able to route the wires to the roof. And lots of sun back here, so we'll never have to worry about charging the batteries back here for these shades. I actually mounted mine kind of facing outward underneath the eaves all around my back porch, and I've had no issues getting enough sun to all those to keep them charged up all the time. But as long as you can just get a little bit of sun, a little bit of daylight, you should be good to go there. Now let's talk about the smart home integration, because that's a big benefit of using smart outdoor shades instead of just regular outdoor shades. And it's just so convenient to be able to control these from inside or with automations or with your phone. It's so neat to do. Now I use Apple HomeKit or Apple Home for my smart home, so I have all mine set up that way, and I can control mine with my phone, the home app on my iPhone, or I use Siri all the time to open or close the shades, which is really nice to do. My brother and his family, they actually use Google Home at his house. Now the great thing about Matter is that it doesn't matter what smart home ecosystem you use. All you have to do is go into your smart home app, like Google Home in this case, and just add a new device, scan the QR code that's on the shades, or you can input the number. Now this is something I do want to say here, make sure you save these codes. So the Matter code, the Matter QR code is on the top part on the inside of the shade, and then also on the outside. Definitely make sure you take a picture of each one of those QR codes and save those somewhere important. Write down the numbers, whatever you gotta do. You don't wanna lose that, because if you ever have to remove these from your smart home and then re-add them, you will need that Matter code. But once you add them to your smart home, you can then control them with the voice assistants, with the app, however you want, which is really great. You can see here they have a Google Nest display in their kitchen, and I can just shout to the smart display to close or open the outdoor shades, and it works. Really awesome and super convenient. Of course, you can also control the shades with the remote, which is super convenient. They do include a little bracket that you can mount this remote somewhere. The shades do come pre-programmed already with the remote, so you shouldn't have to do anything, but if you want to reprogram them, you can. I did actually reprogram his so that the right ones kind of corresponded with the little dots in there. You can control them all together if you want, or you can control them individually, and you can set up the remote kind of however you want. They have really good instructions for the remote and how to program it and stuff like that. You can also adjust the speed of the shades, I should mention. You would probably only want the speed to be slower to make them quieter. I assume for outdoor shades, the noise probably doesn't really matter that much, so we just set his to be as fast as they could be. For indoor shades, you might want them quieter, if you're using them in the morning or something, but outside probably doesn't matter that much, and they're not like super loud anyways. So here is the final installation, and I think these turned out fantastic. I couldn't have been more happy with the final look of these. That extra planning that we did beforehand and cutting into the pillars and stuff, and then drilling the anchors into the concrete, all that stuff really paid off. I think they look great. Now, he did go in and paint the cord for the solar panel white, so that just blends in a little bit more. And I think these things just look super premium. They look fantastic. They work with a smart home, so they really love these. And before putting these up, he had like zero privacy back here. Literally the whole street could basically see into his backyard, and now he can just put these down and immediately have privacy. What's really cool is he can put down just one side, or whichever sides he wants. He can do just one or two and keep the other sides open. So just a really great solution for blocking out the sun and improving privacy. And again, I've been super happy with mine on the back porch after using them for almost a year now, 6 months to a year. They've just worked really well with my smart home. The thread connection has been great. I really haven't had any issues. Every now and then I'll have one maybe go unresponsive or something like that in my smart home. It really hasn't been a big issue, but if that does ever happen, it's been really easy to resolve. I just put the shades back into sleep mode and then take them out of sleep mode, and then the no response issue is fixed right away. So that's something you can do if you ever have that issue. They can be a little pricey. Their indoor shades are probably about 1/3 of the price of something like Lutron Serenas, which are really expensive. Now their outdoor shades are gonna be a little bit more expensive. I'm trying to look here for mine. Mine were around $450 maybe to $500 per shade for my back porch. Again, outdoors, it's gonna be a little bit more expensive, and the price is largely gonna be determined by the size of your shades. My brother's house, again, those were custom made, so I don't know exactly the price, but when I maxed out the size of the shades on the website, you're looking at around $1,000 for like a maximum size shade that you can order through the website. So I would say somewhere around the $1,000 range for those larger shades like we installed at my brother's house. So definitely an investment, but a worthy investment in my opinion if you have the funds for it. I really can't recommend SmartWings enough. They've been great for me. They will work with your smart home, and the pricing I think is very reasonable for the quality you get. They're custom made. At the end of the day, they are a fantastic upgrade to your outdoor space. The privacy, the protection from the sun, I love them, and it can add a ton of value to your smart home. I've got an affiliate link down below if you're interested. Using that affiliate link does help support this channel at no extra cost to you, and that's always much appreciated. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Are smart outdoor shades something you're considering? What are some of the requirements for you? I hope this video helped in determining if SmartWings will be a good addition to your smart home. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.